Actually 7:31, according to my computer. Like a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
So moved.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so moved. Okay. We had a meeting right when Fern came in, when Kathy and I were talking, but we had the annual review with Amoresco on the project, and my main interest there was to get Eric. Hey, Sonny, there she is. You're on mute, Sonny. Was to
Yeah,
get.
I'm sorry, I was saying I just got back home. Yeah.
To get our new Department of Public Works head familiar with the project and everything, and I screwed up. I got what I thought was the link in an email to attend, and I didn't, but the key points from the Department of Public Works and the school were there, so that went okay, and update where we stood on the project. I do have those, Sonny. I finally got the file and everything for the Energy Star for the track
Awesome.
YouTube bills, and I'll send that to you. I'll email it to you.
Okay. I'll put it on social media and publicize it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done with it, I guess, that kind of.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But I'll send you the link and everything to that. And one of the main things is to figure out, can you get a separate, now I'm the only one, it's my password and all that. And the way it's set up is for me, but you can read into there and see how you can get up and share. There's a way, the means
to add myself. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, to share. So
Yeah.
that type of thing. But in the meantime, you can use mine anyway.
Sounds good.
Okay, the one bit of business that we need to transact, I sent out the construction contracts for the solar projects for the schools and the track field house. And I don't know if any of you have looked at it or anything, but I did go through it, and the main thing was that to request to set it up to have 3 separate contracts, so that if something changes in one building, it only affects that one building. And so we got 3 separate contracts. This is what what Marty wanted and what Board of Selectmen wanted and everything. So I read through the contracts. I didn't see anything of any issues or whatever. It's to do the installation. It lays out everything is how to install it. The project and the schedule for doing this. And then once it's installed, we will get a separate contract for maintenance, ongoing maintenance. There's the first year of maintenance is included in the base contract. And did any of you folks take a look at them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, because what we need to do is recommend to the Board of Selectmen to execute the contracts and get the projects moving. They've already executed the financing. The financing mechanism is in place. They've committed and signed the documents for the tax exempt lease. So this is just a matter of cleaning up the paperwork, and they just wanted us to look and see if anybody saw anything of particular concern in these contracts. They're pretty much standard.
Did you send them to us?
Yeah, Kathy had attached an email.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't notice. I'll take a look. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill, where's the ongoing maintenance, the annual maintenance that we're probably going to have to get?
Well, that will be coming once the projects are installed. That's the last thing. The first year of maintenance is included in the installation contract. And so once the project is completed and installed and up and running, then we'll get the following follow-up, a maintenance contract for the 10 years for maintaining.
I'd like to know about what the cost of that is.
Yeah, that's in the numbers. We
Okay.
have that in the details that had been put out, and I can see if I got them handy right now, but I could send that.
Even roughly, is it 10%, 20%?
No, it's much less than that.
Okay,
It's maybe like 13,000 a year or something like that.
okay. You know, because if we're locked into one vendor, you know, maintenance could be whatever they ask.
Yeah, no, that was included in the bid.
Okay,
That was part of the bid package. They had to propose, and the maintenance contract had to be spelled out, stipulated. So they did that, and that was included in the pricing, and so it's set. It won't change.
is there any issue with the roofs?
No, they're all new roofs. This is how it's
Okay.
timed, because the timing, working with Rizzo and coordinating with Rizzo and the construction and the timing of the roofs, and now is the time. And Kathy can fill us in on that, because she runs the public building committee anyway. So she has a good handle on that.
Okay,
Yeah, they're pretty much, I mean, they're done right now. I mean, they haven't gone through like final commissioning stuff, but as far as I know, they're well on their way.
okay.
And we're targeting to have the solars up and running by the end of May, is what the current target objective is.
Now, there was something in the contract about special fasteners or earthquake-proof mounts or something. Is that an issue, or is that just wording?
That's just boilerplate.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I said this is pretty much standard boilerplate type of.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the last part, the balance, that's due after we accept it?
Yeah, and all the money is handled by the financing. In other words, the financer had to put up in escrow the total amount of the construction project. And so as the payments are approved, progress payments are approved, then the finance pays them, and our town's obligation to pay off the lease commences at the end of the first year of operation. That's when the first payment would be due.
But we do own this system. We own all the electricity coming off it and everything, so.
Yeah, we own it. We own everything, lock, stock, and barrel, and that was important. And that's why you have the provision in the contract for the insurance to cover, anything, is because it's the town, but it's under the town's normal insurance policy.
Okay. And this price that I see, the PV unit pricing is $2.06 per watt DC. How does that translate into AC?
Well, AC, when you look at solar in New England, you're looking at the amount of solar energy is probably around 40 to 45% of what the DC rating is.
Okay, so we're talking maybe 5 cents a kilowatt, is it, or is that, am I using
a
wrong
watt,
metrics?
Yeah,
$5
$5 a watt.
$5 a watt, okay.
Yeah, that's basically what, when you net that out on an AC basis.
Okay, but that's $5 a watt over, how do we translate that to, Eversource pricing of, so many cents a kilowatt hour?
It's going to be a lot cheaper because we have the rec payments from the state,
Mhm.
Basically from Eversource. I forget what they're about, but they're 7 or 8 cents a kilowatt, that we're getting paid there. Plus, they're eligible for capacity payments, and that's the next thing that will be bid out is for the capacity. I cannot be involved in that whatsoever, because my company will be bidding as one of the ones to monetize it. So
Understood, but this cost of $2, roughly $2 a watt DC, that's permanent. That's what it is.
Installed cost. That's the installed cost.
Right.
So if the systems last 25 years, it's going to come out very, very cheap over when you amortize it over the life of the system.
So we're obviously not gonna get 24/7 usage out of the system.
No, we only get it
what
when
is,
the sun's up.
about how many, right, and when there's no snow on it,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
roughly how many hours do we expect to get, even half this, the rated number of watts?
Well, I can put together using the NREL PC Watts program, and it lays out, and that's what's used to come up with an estimate of what the capacity payments based upon the average weather over
Well,
so many periods and that kind of a thing. But I
we
can
can,
send it to you. That gives it lays
yeah.
on a monthly, hourly for
Well,
it.
I'm just looking for a way to phrase this to the public. Um, we're paying $5 per watt DC. Call it $12 per watt AC. But that's going to be over 25 years. So that's 50 cents a watt per year. But how many hours do we get out of that? How many kilowatt hours?
Well,
Going by business hours, 40 hours a week, there's about a little over 2,000 hours in a year.
yeah, the projected kilowatt hour, I can send all that to you. What
Yeah,
the output is. I think the Rockwell and Johnson schools are like 175 kW is what the rating is, and I think the track and field is probably in that range too.
right. Well,
And
the question is if somebody comes in and says, oh, by the way, some of these guys are Boy Scouts for my son's Boy Scout troop. They're here to, fulfill a requirement for a merit badge and watch a
yeah,
town meeting.
yeah.
How do we show the town that we're getting a good deal on this, that this is a good deal? I mean, we know my gut reaction is, yes, this is a really inexpensive price for electricity. The problem is we have to put the money up front. So how do we know that paying $5, roughly $5 an AC watt, is going to translate into what would
Well,
the equivalent,
the projection, annual projected production in kilowatt hours is for the three system is 687,500 annually.
So it's okay, 6,000. Okay.
687,500.
Okay. Kilowatt hours.
Yeah, annually. Now, we don't put up any money either up front. We only pay, at the end of the year. And that's the people who buy the lease, tax exempt lease, are the ones that put up the money. So,
Okay. What money are we putting up?
we're not putting up any money.
At the end of the year, are we paying for electricity or are we paying
No, we're
for
paying lease
the fixed
payment.
cost?
Yeah,
Okay.
$110,000
Right.
is the lease payment. We're paying it at a fixed rate of 2.65% annual.
Right. So maybe that's another way to look at it. You said 600,000 kilowatts for $110,000.
Yeah, 687,000.
Yeah. Let me run those numbers.
Yeah, and the actual payment is $107,220 a year fixed.
So we're looking at about 6.4 cents per kilowatt hour, which is better than what we get from, I think it's about, what is the Northeast Utilities or Eversource's rates? About 12 cents or there?
When you figure in the transmission and distribution, you're looking at 15 to 18 cents kilowatt hour to the schools.
Okay,
Now,
so
in addition to what we're paying, we're also getting the rec payments. They're getting paid, I think it's 7.5 or something. I'd have to check, cents a kilowatt hour for the green energy. So we end up making money. The town makes money over all the costs and everything after all said and done.
Okay, so those recs are carbon trading credits, are they?
Well, they're renewable energy credits.
Right. Okay.
Eversource has to buy to satisfy the state requirements. They provide so much renewable energy, green.
So
whatever.
that's another way to look at it. We think we're getting electricity, we're paying about 6 point something cents per kilowatt hour. We're getting 7.2 in credits. So we're actually making money and cutting down the town's electric use.
Yeah, exactly. So and I think I shared this at one of the meetings when the bids came out, that I think over the life, the town benefits over $100,000
Okay.
over the life, over the net benefit to the town after all said and done, including and maintenance, ongoing maintenance.
Unfortunately, that's not a big part of the budget, but every little bit helps.
Exactly right. So, but anyway, what I need is, I will put forth,
We need a motion to recommend.
recommend.
Okay, I recommend
Yeah,
I motion that the commission recommend that the board of directors sign off on these, the town board of
Select.
selectmen sign off on these three agreements.
I'll second.
second. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Don't move. And that's the key bit of business that we had. Now, we don't have any discussion on the electric vehicle initiative because we don't have our electric vehicle person here at the meeting. He didn't show up, so we'll have to table that to the next session. But it's interesting to note that I saw in the paper, in the trade press earlier this week, that Next Era, which is a big utility down in Florida, headquartered in Florida, as moving forward with the school bus entities, which includes the Bethel school bus companies. There's 580,000 school buses, yellow buses, that they're looking to move forward to turn into electric vehicles, electric buses.
Yeah.
And that's something that we've had some conversation with in the past. And one of the things that has got to concern the town, and I mentioned this to Matt, is the post office is converting their fleet to electric. We get school buses to electric. We have our electric. There's going to be a very significant infrastructure requirement by the utility for that. And the school park, particularly with the police department up there and everything, the school park, we talked about one of the third initiative we had in our first RFP offering, and our first plan was to put a microgrid on the school park so that we could power that when the other utility was down, and have it powered by fuel cells or whatever. That I think is going to become more and more important. I know Amoresco, which was the first we awarded that performance contract to, has still been working with the state to see if we can get a grant, which would take a couple $1 million to be able to make it cost effective.
Okay. Maybe we should recommend that the Board of Selectmen clarify that the free electric chargers at the train station, the old train station, every place else, are limited to personal vehicles and not school buses.
Yeah. Well, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
But
Okay, just to fill in for the guys, the scouts who are here, we've been looking at seeing if it's time to get an electric fleet or a hybrid fleet for the town or some of the town vehicles.
that's what we're working on. That's the initiative that we have moving forward. conversations already been underway with the town, with Public Works and whatever to get information on the fleet. And the biggest part of the fleet would be the police department, police vehicles. So that was what the electric vehicle initiative is all about.
And we did have an item on the agenda for Amoresco review of the performance contract.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
That went on today. And my main concern there was to bring Eric, our new public works director, up to speed on what the project is.
But how's it going? Just on track and everything's good?
Yeah, seems to be going good. Everything's fine. And I think a lot of improvements been made in the town buildings in terms of particularly the schools, I know, in terms of HVAC improvements and everything. And we'll get we should be getting another report, an annual report from Amoresco shortly for this year that just finished.
And again, just for the scouts here, we did a $4.3 million project to make energy improvements in town buildings.
Yes.
The savings was rolled into capital equipment, so the town avoided a cost of buying certain capital
Yeah.
equipment. Where you guys will see it is one example is the high school and the junior high auditoriums got lighting previous to the project. The lighting in the ceiling of, I think it was the high school, just didn't work, and you were walking into a dark room. Now it's all very nicely lit.
Yeah, and there's a lot of improvement, mechanical equipment improvements that have been made with that project. And that was the main purpose of it, was to, the original survey found that we had about $15 million worth of capital needs for up to, to do a lot of work. And the 4.3 million took the most significant ones to, correct those, but they'll see all the lighting has been changed, LEDs, this kind of a thing.
So the buildings are more comfortable and more livable, and
yeah,
we avoided some cost.
Yeah. So that went quite well.
Okay. So time for new business.
Yeah, have you got any?
Just a rumor and more of a I don't know if it's a joke or not, but have you heard of the UFO patents?
No. Can we make one?
Some guy came into the Navy and said, "Hey, I've got all these great ideas." And the Navy said, "Well, they kind of laughed and said, well, you're going to have to give us proof. You're going to have to build a model and show that it works." And he did. And one of these things was a small fusion reactor.
Right.
Yeah, they talked about that, putting them on space vehicle.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe fusion is closer than we think.
Exactly. Whoever finish, commercializes that is gonna change the world.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, I have a new item, not quite in the stratosphere, but probably underground. So I got an inquiry from one of our town residents about the potential to, through our committee, get geothermal vendors. So I wanted to bring it up in the meeting today. I could run a quick survey in the town and see if there's enough of an interest. Then, similar to what we did for the solar residential program, I could kind of, come up with the interest, and we could maybe find vendors, and if the town can, support the residents with a group buy, it could be a win-win, similar to the solar project.
Sonny, what kind of geothermal are you talking about?
I'm not too familiar with the various kinds of geothermal, so I mean, if you have an idea, Hank,
I know one of the
recommend-
guys,
yeah.
one of the guys in town, buried, has a geothermal system where he has a buried pipe, and
Mhm.
it's deep enough that the ground is always, I think it's something like 50 or 54 degrees.
Deep, yeah, right, that's
And
right.
he uses that for heating and cooling.
Yeah, that's-
And I'm assuming they're talking about that instead of the Iceland kind where they use, uh, volcanic hot water springs or
No, I
whatever.
don't
Yeah,
believe so.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it
But-
would be more of
but-
the one. There's
but-
vertical and horizontal is all I know to lay
Okay,
the fields. Yeah, and I believe most companies are probably like doing more of the vertical than the horizontal.
Okay.
Just from a space standpoint, where you lay the fields and then you're pulling the energy up from the earth. So if you want to explain it, I realized
right.
the guests
It's-
were students. So if
it's-
you want to explain, Hank, to your
It's more like a heat battery than a heat generator.
correct, yes.
But my uncle is in in Connecticut, and he has a hot spring in his backyard, so you never know.
That'd be great. So I
Well, with
want to
all the
propose
groundwater,
so if everyone agrees, I could move forward with it, and of course, like then we'd have to go through a similar process as we did for the solar,
yeah,
with the vendor selection and everything.
yeah, find out if there's something that company that might be able to, if there's a Ross solar vendor, I mean, a Ross,
Kind of, yeah. We could run
yeah.
a
Would-
bit
yeah.
and
Now, would this be for the town or for individuals?
for individuals, similar to the I
Right.
guess it was called Solarize CT, was a program we ran a few years ago.
Right.
Which was for the residents. And we got, I guess, a good deal from Ross
Okay.
at that time.
There's a company up in Stores that from a space heating standpoint, if you have natural gas, they have a natural gas boiler that has integrated with it a turbine generator, so that when the boiler is firing, the exhaust is turning the turbine and generating electricity for the house. And it can also be configured to power, generate electricity when the grid is off, that type of a thing.
And do they have a chiller available with that too?
No, this is just electricity. Yeah,
Because Yukon has they generate their own electricity from gas turbines, but they
oh yeah,
use
they
the
got
waste
big,
they use the waste heat to heat all the buildings and also to create cold, air conditioning.
yeah. That's combined heat and power.
Right.
That's been around for a while, which is good.
Yeah. So that would be interesting if they had that on if they added a chiller to that.
Well, you can do that, but the sizes are too big. Tecogen makes that type of a setup where they have a gas-driven engine that can generate electricity as well as chilled water type of a thing. But you've got to have like 75 kW load, so
Okay.
that's big per house.
Well, I'm not too far off that, I think. I just got my last bill and the cost wise, yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. Yes. I mean, if you want to look into that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with that. And hopefully by the next meeting, we have some responses and see what that response looks like, and we can take a call whether it's worth pursuing.
Appreciate it very much. Any other business?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Hearing none, do I have a motion to end?
Okay,
Motion.
motion to end the meeting.
Motion to end, yeah. Second motion to end.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so moved. I thank you very, very much. And Sonny, I'll email you that Energy Star thing.
Sounds
to
good. Bill.
see
Yeah,
what
look
you
forward
could do.
Okay,